it's really interesting. I'm just going to go off on another tangent, but with dopamine and ADHD, did you find you were addicted to like stimulants and things that like heighten your dopamine and food? Because food is definitely something I would self-medicate with that low dopamine.
Absolutely. People with ADHD, one like hallmark sign is a chronic lower dopamine. Like we just naturally don't produce as much.
Yeah.
So we are particularly prone to really like chasing that little dopamine hit by doom scrolling on social media, binge watching shows, anything that, you know, like snacks that are hyper sweet, hyper savory. We're chasing those. Yeah,
absolutely. Something I actually started doing again recently that's really helped, I think, to increase my dopamine. Correct me if I'm wrong, but cold water therapy. I love that for just that reward at the start of the day, because it gets to a point where like you're taking so many stimulants on your phone, so much music, like there's so much stimulus that your sense of just being yourself is a caffeinated version to you don't feel like yourself until you have that coffee. So kind of just to regulate my dopamine back to a healthy amount without needing that many stimulants, I've really started loving cold water therapy again.
It's amazing. Like there's a few things that are really healthy, amazing ways to get a dopamine hit. Cold water therapy, that, you know, cold shower first thing in the morning, really good. It's even
sucks
like
in winter.
Oh, it's so hard because it's like even when you turn the shower off, it's even worse. But it's actually really great for cell renewal and rejuvenation as well. So
and
other than that, inflammation as well. But other things like learning, that's good for a dopamine hit. And it doesn't have to be, you don't have to go to uni or do anything like that. But reading one page of a book, that's something that you want to learn even, that gives you a dopamine hit. So there's little ways that we can do things to stop trying to like smash a 6-shot coffee.
I was listening to a human podcast on dopamine yesterday. It was really interesting. He was saying that apparently cold water therapy can increase your dopamine levels by like 250% above baseline.
I don't know the exact numbers. Like I definitely am like
I might just be pulling them out of my ass, but
well, definitely
it was. I just knew it was like more than crack cocaine.
I've read the same thing, but I mean, I can't say that I've like investigated so thoroughly into this. I'm not a neurologist or anything, but like, and from our own experiences, like I do the same thing. Guilty, not every day, with the cold shower. And I do. It's such a great start to the day. Like you can be feeling so low energy, not motivated, and you have that shower and you get out and you're like, let's kick off the day.
Absolutely. Well, I love it the most for not even the physical benefits, but more so mentally, just being able to callous your mind, as Dave Goggins would say at the start of the day. Like it's more so just to shut the fuck up to that voice in my mind. Like I noticed that if I do a cold shower in the morning and I quieten that voice, it's like, oh, we just want to stay comfortable. I'm a lot more likely to conquer tasks throughout the day that I don't want to do. For example, like my nutrition adherence, it was never better than when I was doing, you know, cold shower therapy, or, you know, the hard tasks during the day I wanted to do, like training to failure, getting study done, like doing these things. They became a lot easier when I started the day with a cold shower.
That's amazing. Hey, I think there's so many little things that we can do to be better, but you like what you said, you got to get out of your comfort zone. And even like aside from like the chemical benefits of that in the body, like for your neurotransmitters, that showing yourself that you can do that, something that I know it sounds insane. Confidence, building confidence, belief in yourself, because you might want to do it and you're like, oh, no, that's going to suck. That's going to be hard. But when you do it, you're like, what a Lord, I can do anything. Next task, and you build momentum.
Absolutely. And back to, that's why I love training. It can really build self-confidence. You eventually start to identify as someone that pushes through when things are challenging. And it transfers out of just the gym. It goes into your professional and your personal life. And if you start identifying as someone that when things are challenging, you push through, then it can really help to build a great foundation.
That's so true. I feel like gym changed my life. Like,
I'd love to know more about that.
Oh, it just changed my life. Like, I'd already been eating really healthy, and when I say healthy, like what was right for my body and just like nourishing my body at uni. When my peak overweight at uni would have been after my first year. I'd only done a little bit of nutrition. I was like starting to, get to know, because my undergraduate degree was predominantly in health science, like public health. And so I did my major in nutrition. And ironic, I put on like 20 kilos. I was so unhealthy and overweight. And then I had this insane autoimmune response. I got really bad pustular psoriasis on my hands and feet. Could barely use my hands. I was sleeping terribly. And then I shifted my thought from, how can I quickly lose this weight? Like, what's the quickest fix, to how can I be healthy? And that stopped me from thinking, I have to eat the smallest amount of calories. I didn't even think about calories. I just thought about my food choices. And doing better and not eating chips from a packet and convenience things. I picked healthy convenience things. I lost probably I think about like 17 kilos.
Did your psoriasis go away as well?
Yeah. And because that, being obese, like I was obese, like what am I? Like 5'7.5", the half matters. And I was 82 kilos, but I had no muscle. I wasn't at the gym, so I was skinny fat, but
you got a lot of muscle now, girl. You look like you compete.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I still got the little like fluff layer, but
remember
it's like
when
healthy.
I first met you and you were like, by the way, you look amazing. I was like, wow, she looks incredible. That's a huge compliment.
I couldn't tell it. It's amazing though. I lost that weight, and then I thought, what do I do now? Like, I want to be really healthy. And I was 29 at the time, and I thought, I want to go back to the gym. I used to love the gym. And I hired a coach, a personal trainer, face to face, because I thought, I don't know what I'm doing. I need help. It was the best thing I ever did. And I haven't looked back.
Wow.
That's nearly 5 years now. It'll be 5 years at the end of this year. And my whole like binge, restrict, overweight, underweight cycle that I went through, it stopped then, because I was thinking about like, what do I eat to fuel my sessions? If I have a crap dinner, I'm going to have crap energy in the morning for my session. Started getting up at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, getting to the gym, and it didn't matter what I did in my day. The gym was my non-negotiable and my way to start the day. And then like what you said, that gave me confidence, and I could be having the worst day ever, and I thought, I just get to the gym, just go to gym. And not every session was amazing, but when I finished it, I felt great, because even on my worst days, I still did that one thing for my like body and mind health.
It's so incredibly important for your mental health. Like,
so important.
I don't know where I'd be today if there wasn't the gym.
Me too.
Honestly.
COVID. Oh my God. How did you go in?
I love COVID.
Did you? Did you still train?
I really enjoyed it.
How did you train?
Well, for the first couple of months, it was really exciting. And then you just went like, fuck. People were like walking their cats in this, it was like a front-facing backpack with a window.
That's tragic.
And they put the cats inside it and took them for a walk. And I loved it. I was honestly like popping Dexies and just like studying and getting my anatomy in and learning more about that and just like upskilling.
What about gym though, when gyms closed?
Oh, we actually ended up making our own gym. So the first time when they were closed, we just like made some shit. We made some concrete dumbbells and thought it'd be a short amount of time. And then things reopened for a little bit. We sold it all.
Oh no.
And then we were like, fuck, now I'm going to have to start hip thrusting my boyfriend. And then we bought all of it and we had like a whole gym set up. And then, we were like bench pressing. I think at nighttime, we went around the back of like a complex and we pulled this pole out of the ground, like a stop sign. And we were using that to bench press with.
Innovative.
Yeah. And we put like camping chairs on the end, like filled with stuff.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like the MacGyver of gym equipment. Like, that's some Bear Grylls.
I loved it though. It like forced you to get innovative.
Yeah, definitely.
What did you do during that time?
Well, I was in Brisbane at the time, the first one, and I had just started my master's degree, just turned 30.
Wow.
The day before, I think they called the lockdown, and I had only started training with my trainer, I think in November the prior year.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, what do I do?
Yeah.
This is my whole thing. I'm like suddenly at home. My degree has gone online. I'm not getting to the gym. I'm just completely isolated. And my coach, amazingly, her and another coach, they set up a whole gym in his garage, and I trained like once a week at their like just lower body focus, smashing it. And then I was able to get a little bit of equipment online. I had like a 5-foot barbell and maybe like 50 kilos of weights, and I just did everything with a barbell, and that probably took about 2 weeks to get it, and it made life so much easier because I was like, oh my God, what do I do? Like,
man, if people thought toilet paper was expensive, they should have seen how much gym equipment was. I remember people like making a business, which is fucking ingenious. I would have done that at the time.
People bought everything up.
They made a business out of like getting things shipped to them, like gym equipment, and reselling them for like 20 times the price.
One kettlebell was like $100 for like a 5 kilo at one point.
Yeah.
And then when I moved to Melbourne, actually, it was just before the last, back to Melbourne, I'm originally from here. It was just before the last lockdown. So I had no equipment again.
I know.
They're like, we'll be in lockdown for one day. And me and my housemate thought, no, we won't. And we went straight to this commercial gym equipment supplier, bought a cage, and we just trained for like the whole lockdown. We just did compounds and got like so strong on those.
Lockdown was such an interesting time. I remember going through like a serial killer obsession where I binge watch forensic.
Wait, you became one, or you were watching the shows?
I binge watch Forensic Files.
Oh, okay.
All day, and Jacob and I just became the laziest. Like, we just smoked weed and watched Forensic Files.
Sociopaths, essentially.
He got into really computer gaming, and we were such bums, but I'm grateful for that time.
Yeah,
there were like
loved it.
two versions of lockdown. The first one was just like we became super lazy, and then the second one was obsessed with just like learning everything, and
That's a healthy way to do lockdown.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to lie, I definitely struggled with it at first, but then once I got used to it after so long, I was like, how can I transition back now?
I was like training my clients in the park with just like sheer barbells and making these really interesting, trying to get it
Like
as creative as possible. Yeah, because people needed it for their mental health, like their sense of hope and purpose. And I think one of the stupidest things they ever fucking did was to eliminate the gyms in lockdown.
How are you going to shut the gym and keep the bottle-os open?
Especially people with mental health, depression, telling them to just lock themselves inside the house with no contact. And
we know isolation is like one of the number one
really
drivers
sad.
of depression.
So I kind of went against the rules, and I opened up my little garage in the back, and I was just training my clients, and they just they even told me getting to see me and just talk to them was the one thing they looked forward to, that week.
I completely relate to that.
Yeah.
Like, from the perspective of the client, that's exactly how I was with my PT. Like, it was so crucial for my mental health, and there was never a day in my mind where I thought, oh no, I'm going to just stop doing this, like, I'll save the money in lockdown. No way. That was the best money I ever spent with a coach, not just for the physical benefits, but that social support. Like, honestly. Absolutely. And I stayed on even in lockdown here, like online, because it's so beneficial. I think people don't realize, like, yes, exercise is great for you, but when you have a coach and they give you structure and drive and ways to progress, and it's just, you feel so good. Like, every week, every day you're achieving.
You can either spend the money or spend the time.
Yeah, 100%.
People are like, oh, it's a bit expensive. Like, you are going to, especially if you're new, you're going to have to find out those mistakes the hard way, which is, I wish I had hired a lot more mentors and coaches from a lot earlier on.